You may find this hard to believe, but by the time I was 8 years old, I was already living outside the United States. To be fair, I was living in Australia, which is a country that at the time at least, and really I suppose you could argue even to some degree to the modern day, was a lot like the United States in many regards. There were some things that I didn't like, or that more correctly and more importantly my parents didn't like about Australia, but in general it wasn't that much different living there than you could argue it was living in the United States. What I want to point out here is that I've not spent my entire life sheltered in this country. Now, to be fair, I haven't been out of the United States in a very long time, and lots of things almost certainly have changed various places. I hear that they've changed in Australia, for example. But I wanted to take the time today to talk on a subject that I've given in many other countries, on the Daily Summation from Kurt's Religion and Politics. I'm your host. I'm Kurt, and today is Saturday, the 18th of September of 2021. Welcome to everyone who's here on Rumble, on the podcast, and on YouTube. Remember, Rumble is my preferred platform. And again, we're going to talk on the subject of in many other countries. And what I want to do is I want to go through my notes real quick, as I typically do, to kind of give you an idea where I am on things. I really have to wonder why, I've obscured my notes, or how many people are totally unaware what it means to live in other countries. I really have to wonder how many people are totally unaware of that. In many countries, for example, were I to run around waving an American flag, I would die, be beaten, or find myself in jail. Equally, in much of the world, if you're a woman, a Christian, a Jew, or a homosexual, in the best case, equally, in much of the world, if you're a woman, a Christian, a Jew, or a homosexual, the best case is that you're a second-class citizen. The worst case is your imminent demise. For gay folks, from the fall off the relatively tall building or horrible torture. Here in my neck of the woods, folks have taken to flying Mexican flags in the back of their pickup trucks or out the windows of their cars as they parade down our main streets. Funny part, you want to fly your flag, you want to fly the flag of your country in my country. Am I upset? If so, it's only because I think it likely you want to make my home like yours. Remind me again why you're here, not there? Was it because of the far superior standard of living there? Maybe it was because your government was corrupt. Were you persecuted based on what you believed, how you acted, or how you looked? This nation is what it is as a result of intent. The U.S. is what it is as a result of intent, of choices we've made that caused us to be where we are. I'm not saying you can't be homesick, or that you shouldn't love home. I am saying you should realize you're here because home didn't cut it in some fashion. This is going to sound bad, but if that's not the case, why aren't you there? Okay, this is the end of my notes. Let me get on with the regular discussion that I'm going to have here. Look, you come from Mexico. You come from Spain, you come from Italy, you come from Korea, you come from China. Wherever you come from in the world, I'm not saying that you should call your home a horrible place in every single regard. And I'll be honest, I'm quite sure that there are some things that you're going to miss from your home. I don't have any doubt of that. There's no question in my mind that it's true. On the other hand, you're here. And the reason you're here is you have things here that you cannot have at home. Yeonmi Park, I think her name is, came to the United States through a circuitous route, China, then South Korea, then the United States. From North Korea, she came here because she was starving. She didn't even know she didn't have freedom. She didn't really even realize that. Nobody talked about that. She didn't know that love was a possible thing for a husband. Nobody ever talked about that. Okay? She came to the United States. She found a superior way of life, and she recognized that it was time to ditch her old modes of thought. And in fact, she became scared because she saw that things that were happening in the United States were bringing us closer to the way other cultures were behaving, including North Korea. And in her mind, in some ways, we're worse than North Korea is. Am I saying that we're horrible in every single way? No, I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to intimate that in any kind of way. But what I want for you to understand is this country is the place, the destination of choice for so many people around the world because we provide things that no other country provides. We provide things that no other country provides. People can be healthy, people can be happy, people can be well-fed, people can be employed, people can make money, people can use that money to buy the things that they want to be. There are so many things that you can do in this country, and if you go to other countries, those things are just not possible. And again, even if I go to, say, Iran as an American and I run around with an American flag, you can pretty much bet that I'm going to get in trouble for doing it. And obviously the same thing applies to North Korea. You can argue that the idea of waving the American flag in a foreign land is not so serious a thing in so many countries. I can go to Germany and I can wave an American flag, and I don't think most people are going to care. England, the same. And I recognize that, but I'm just telling you that the way things work in many countries are not so nice, and when people come to understand why it is that the United States is what it is, if they ever do, they should cease to want what their country had. Again, am I trying to tell you that this means that those people shouldn't miss their home country, shouldn't miss their customs and their ways of doing business in certain regards? No, I'm absolutely not trying to indicate that that's the case at all. I'm not trying to tell you that a person who comes from Mexico shouldn't miss festivals, shouldn't miss the way they did birthdays, shouldn't miss, celebrated days, Cinco de Mayo, whatever. I don't even know, right, what they celebrate. I've heard tell that people celebrating Cinco de Mayo don't really understand it, and I really don't know because I don't, frankly, celebrate Cinco de Mayo. Do I hold it against anybody that they do? No more than I hold it against them than they celebrate St. Patrick's Day that they probably don't really understand the meaning of either, right? But the point is this. You can celebrate what days you want in this country. You can do lots of things that you want. Can you drive down the main drags of Little Rock, North Little Rock, Argenta, and various places in this area with your Mexican flag flying out of the back of your vehicle or out of your window? Absolutely you can, but I'll tell you this. You need to recognize that the reason you're here is where you were didn't cut it. It didn't cut it. That's pretty much how that worked out. I'm sorry that that's a problem for you. I'm sorry that you have a problem with it. But the reason the United States is what the United States is we've taken a huge amount of time. The founders, to begin with, took a huge amount of time. The people who are here took a huge amount of time to make this country a place where people could live without the kinds of oppression and serious problems that you see in other parts of the world. And again, as many people have pointed out, if you try and find any system other than what is now referred to as capitalism, which is really the free market, and a representative republic with democratically elected leadership, if you try and find anywhere in the world that's done better as a result, and in fact has improved a lot of the rest of the world as a result, you're going to fail, as a rule. I'd love to hear an example if you've got one, but I'm going to bet you something you don't. And that's particularly true where communism and socialism are concerned. Oh, you're communist? You're socialist? How's that worked out in the past? Oh, I know, you're going to do it a different way. You're going to do it better. I get what you're saying. You'll forgive me if I refuse to accept that that's likely the case. I'm sorry, I just don't believe it. I don't think you're going to end up with a better outcome than anybody else who's done socialism or communism before. And even if you have, I doubt you're going to come out with as good an outcome as has happened here in the United States using the free market and using a representative republic with democratically elected leadership. I just don't think you're going to do it. And I think the closer we get to bad governments, the worse we're going to get in terms of outcome. And you need to recognize and understand that that's the case. You came from a foreign country. You want to show your national pride. Great, fine. But recognize this. You came from a foreign country. You are here. It wasn't typically an accident. You knew where you wanted to be. You aimed your sights there because it was a place where you could get what you wanted. All right, I need to go ahead and wrap up. This is the Daily Summation from Kurt's Religion and Politics. I'm your host. I'm Kurt, and today is Saturday, the 18th of September of 2021. That means tomorrow will be Sunday, the 19th of September of 2021. Today is the Sabbath, as I understand it. I guess it'll end at sundown today. Hope you're having a good Sabbath today. Thank you for joining me on Rumble, on the podcast, or on YouTube. Remember, Rumble is my preferred platform. You can give me a plus or a positive Rumble or a boxing glove. On Rumble, you can give me a minus or a negative Rumble if you feel the need or want to do that. If you, for whatever reason, I obviously prefer the plus. On YouTube, not Facebook, as I said yesterday, but on YouTube, you can give me a thumbs up or a positive feedback, or you can give me a thumbs down or a negative one if you choose to do that. You remember, on whatever platform you're reaching me on, if there's a way to comment, I obviously love to hear your comments and would love to hear how I can make what I'm doing better and make you happier with what you find here. Today's subject has been in many other countries, and tomorrow we're going to talk about something that Dan Bongino brought on in my mind, and that is the idea that, Dan, that's still government. I just titled it That's Still Government, but you could put the Dan in front of it if you want to. Okay, I hope you're having a good day today, and hopefully we will see you again on Sunday's edition of the Daily Summation from Kurt's Religion and Politics. The speaker on this edition of the Daily Summation is Kurt Schubert. This video was recorded on Saturday, September 18th of 2021. The Daily Summation is created for Kurt's Religion and Politics. Thanks for watching this edition of the Daily Summation from Kurt's Religion and Politics. I hope you found it entertaining or instructional, or maybe both. If you want to see more from me, you can go to blogs.kpschubert.com. That's blogs.kpschubert.com. I am on Twitter, Parler, and Minds.com. My handle on each of those is @kpschubert. That's @kpschubert. I have a Rumble and a YouTube channel. They are the Kurt's Religion and Politics channels on Rumble and YouTube. I have a Facebook page. The Facebook page is Kurt's Religion and Politics as well. I am on Patreon. If you want to support me, that's one of the better places you can do that. And you will find me at Kurt's Religion and Politics on Patreon. I have a podcast. The podcast is podcasts with an S. .kpschubert.com. That's podcasts.kpschubert.com. I think you should be able to find me with relative ease on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify as well. The best way I find to do that is to look for Kurt's Religion and Politics. You can try to use the Daily Summation. I find that it doesn't work as well as a general rule, but you can always try that. I'm glad to have you aboard today, and hopefully we will see you again tomorrow.